I'm going to say a series of objectively true things whose intention is not designed to anger, annoy, cause disgust, or force rage comments, but might have that effect anyway. I'm just going to state a bunch of true things. You ready? Arch Manning looked horrible the entire game. Arch Manning was not ready for that moment. Arch Manning has been sitting for 2 years and let a lot of people down, with that being game one. And had Texas stuck with Quinn Ewers for another year, which they could have done, Texas would be 1-0 and would be holding on to their top ranking in college football. Instead, they will fall after a 14-7 loss to Ohio State. And Arch Manning had a chance to make his early signature moment and flopped in the worst possible way. Second worst possible way. None of those things are false. Notice what I didn't say. Arch Manning can't be good. Arch Manning can't improve. Arch Manning is terrible for the rest of his career. Arch Manning is a bust. None of those things are true. We can't know if they are true. We can know that Arch is way more of an unfinished project than we thought he might be at this point. Because a guy who has shown better football in the starts we have seen, a guy who has been in the system for 2 years already, that has been working and waiting and preparing for his moment, looked completely lost. He was rushed. He tried to run too many times. The Ohio State defense is incredibly well coached. They're really good in the red zone. The quarterback sneak wasn't there. He tried it anyway. I put some of that on Arch. I put some of that on Steve Sarkisian as well. That just wasn't there. Flat out was not available, and we all knew it was coming, and so did Ohio State. So Arch Manning's mechanics are not consistent. I guess the reads were okay. Sometimes. That's the best I could say about the way he played. I guess the reads were okay. Because here's why I say second worst. The game did not end with an interception or Arch Manning, inexplicably fumbling the ball a la Jameis Winston in the 2014 Rose Bowl against Oregon. He fumbles the ball and nobody touched him. Okay, that would have been the worst way. The second worst way is you're driving down the field. You make a special, I mean special, throw down the sideline, and people go, whoa, Arch has got a chance. He threw a touchdown. Now he's made this dart. They're marching down the field. Oh, okay, well, it's a 3rd and 5. And you had 2 wide open guys that were less than 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, and you missed them both. That is the worst possible way you could have ended the game. I mean, what could have been worse? Texas could have not scored. They didn't for an entire half. Sark is usually great in the first half. We saw that last year with Quinn Ewers, and in the second half, they tended to slow down. Yeah, when you're that bad in the first half, do Texas's receivers need to get more separation? Yeah, they do. I don't think they did a great job of that. But I've watched this Steve Sarkisian system before. Looked a heck of a lot better when Quinn Ewers was at the helm. For all you wondering, last year when Quinn would make a mistake, why don't they put in Arch? Yeah, this would be why. I mean, easy throws. Easy throws. He couldn't make easy throws all day. He was making uncompetitive throws consistently. So this is a problem. Texas has an Arch Manning problem. And that's that in a year where they have a defense that, as we saw, I thought Julian Saban looked good. And Ohio State winning that game, full props to Ryan Day. That's an outright win. This is an outright loss vibe for the Texas Longhorns unequivocally because of the way that it looked. Ordinarily, if you just lose this game by 7, I'd say, it's a lean lose because it's not good. You have a tougher road to the playoff, but holy smokes, you have so much work to do with Arch Manning. I did not think it would be this big of a construction project with him. That defense for Texas, though, just went on the road to the horseshoe and played well enough to beat the defending champs. And the offense couldn't put up 17 measly points. Yikes. I mean, yikes. That was bad. So, progress is required. It was always going to have some level of progress, but for it to be that much to where Arch needs to make the simple throws, where he needs to just hit some crossing routes in stride, that's what we're talking about? I can't believe it's what we're talking about, but we are. We absolutely are. So, serious issues there for Texas that can be corrected. Long season. There is just more work to be done than many, including myself, anticipated. I want to close with Utah because there's been a lot of SEC on this show, and I just had to sprinkle something else in there. By the way, the new Tua Tagovailoa is at Cal, apparently. That's what Oregon State learned. That was not one of my better predictions of the week, but Utah goes to UCLA in what was probably my best pick of the week. 43-10, the final score. Nico Iamaleava's debut at UCLA, a 10-point flop. I'm not surprised. I actually give UCLA a no vibe after that game. I thought Utah would win. I thought they would win big. This is a nice lean win outcome because Devin Dampier was 21-25 for 200 yards on the road against a Big Ten team. Is it a good Big Ten team? Nope. I think UCLA's 4-8 this year. But you weren't playing Southeast Missouri State Technical Institute. You were playing a semi-real team. You were playing them on the road, and Utah, 43 points. You didn't have that in the bag last year. Now, perhaps foolishly, I hope not, for the sake of my brethren fandom, is that the correct term? I don't know. I live in the state of Utah, so I'm surrounded by Utes fans everywhere that I go. I hope for their sake, for the good people that I encounter regularly in the Beehive State, that this is not a fluke, not a one-off, but that defense for Utah looked really good. 10 points. I'll take that. 43 points for an offense. Might not be that every week, but if it's 70 to 80% of that every single week, oh boy, the Utah that some were waiting for, that felt was inevitably going to arrive in the Big 12 and work to run the conference, that's what that Utah would look like right there. Just keep that in the back of your mind. More games tomorrow because college football is great and wonderful, and we have South Carolina and Virginia Tech, and the nightcap of Miami Notre Dame. Yes, reaction shows will go up on this very channel. Cannot wait. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time, and until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.